Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of astronomy from Politecnico di Milano in Italy. Our universe and its makeup has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information. Yes, royal family, life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Give thanks for your presence with us. Give thanks continually for the earth strong of His Imperial Majesty. I'm talking about Emperor Haile Selassie I, Kadamawe, of course, the 23rd day of July, 1892. That is when the King of Kings and Lord of Lords was birthed. Royal family, give thanks for your presence. Now, everyone has been saying, where is the Honorable Priest Isaac? We haven't seen him on YouTube for how long? Family, we are on radio. I know. YouTube don't belong to us. We're on a radio, I know, talking about the international flavor, the universal spice, and this is why we encourage family that you understand the importance of revolutionary media. And interestingly, we're going to be talking about revolutionary media to some degree today, as I'm highlighting Got Kush TV, who I do consider to be revolutionary in its output. But anyway, family, we're going to have a wonderful sit down. I will be critiquing a discussion that I was privy to a few days ago on Got Kush TV. Now, for those of you who do not know Got Kush TV, I would advise you to go and check out Got Kush TV, which will soon be, let me get it straight, Kimbunga Media, Kimbunga Media, which means the whirlwind. That is a Swahili word, and Got Kush TV is facilitated by Brother Shakara of the El Kabalan Revivalist family. Of course, that's a family structure that I would have had the privilege of meeting at least on 2 occasions, being in their presence in London, England. I think one was at the Caribou Center and the other was somewhere else. At least one of those occasions, I myself, I think, would have given a lecture. So we would have if you want to say cross paths. And of course, definitely the iconic leader, Mbandaka, you know, who I consider one of our living legends within that conscious realms, connecting us to that African spirituality. You know, we regularly even tune into his words and galaxy. So this is something that is really from the heart that we will be speaking of even on this episode here. Now, on Got Kush TV, though, a few days ago, a brother and a sister, a brother and two sisters, but one of the sisters were dropping in and dropping out, were speaking of Haile Selassie. Now, the scholarship was very poor and very sloppy. But it's not just because it was poor and sloppy, but they were somewhat authoritative with it, although they were, you know, they left room to express their lack of research and the really coming from a novice level. But still, that was not good enough. Because you see, I myself, I have such respect for leader Mbandaka, and of course for Shakara, brother Shakara himself, and Got Kush TV. I am always there checking out what's new on Got Kush TV. Brother Robin Walker on Got Kush TV. So I am definitely an individual that respects the quality of information that comes out of that revolutionary media. But now you see, when the brother and the sister sat down to speak about Haile Selassie the First, and they spoke for like about 3 hours, very sloppy stuff, very they just regurgitated like somebody just eat something up and they vomit it out. They just regurgitated the propaganda that has been given to us. And again, I don't know exactly who they may be representing. I don't even know them. But the platform that they were on and the people that that platform was associated with, who I myself would have heard speak of the plot to bring this disunity between the followers of Marcus Garvey and the followers of Haile Selassie. Now on another level, when it comes to Haile Selassie the First, we need to stop playing around. If you don't know, you don't know. Don't be coming and making a mess when it comes to Haile Selassie the First. We are supposed to respect and honor that soul. This is not religion now. This is not belief. This is why this tiger do not play when it comes to Haile Selassie the First. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hear people say all sort of things all the time, you know. You know, as a tiger, is not every antelope in the plains they're gonna run after. But sometimes, I mean, you just can't make the wolves get away. Yeah. So anyway, I'm not going to take up too much time because I want this program to be as swift as possible. And I'm going to take the privilege to literally borrow the discussion from Got Kush TV, so you could get just a few bits of it, maybe 10 to 15 minutes in general, or as a somewhat as a capsule of all that was said. And then after they present themselves, I will present myself with the truth. Because really what the program was about, they were critiquing Haile Selassie to see if he was a revolutionary mind. And interesting, eh? Not just a revolutionary mind. Who on earth you can compare or even bring up to the level of Haile Selassie as a revolutionary mind? And I'm going to prove what I'm saying tonight. Again, I'm going to present what the brother and the sister and the other sister that was dropping in and out had to say. And then I'm going to bring to you the truth. No disrespect to them. You know, I actually don't even know them. But again, the platform that they were on, that we highly respect, and the people that the platform represents, who we highly respect, and you know that. my listeners, you know that. You know, we would have done programs highlighting um, um, leader Manbandaka, and of course, the El Kabbalah Revivalist mission in general. So definitely, royal family, I want you to sit in on this one here. And yeah, let's go. Hey, I'm just reminding you the Tigers Nest radio program every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. Radio Anu, of course, the website is priestisaacinstitute.com. The link is in the description below the video. Again, people saying, boy, priest, we're saying about 2 weeks. Where's the priest? I mean, Radio Anu, that's revolutionary radio. You know, you got to keep in mind the YouTube stuff, the Facebook stuff, all of that other stuff. You know, even your own personal international radio, it's still on the internet. You know, it's still on the World Wide Web. The web is a net, it's a trap. You just have a site on the web, you call a website. You get it? Yeah. But still, it's a bit more revolutionary. You know, you can't say any old thing on the YouTube. When you come and look for the video again, it's gone. And they're threatening you with, you know, if we have to take down the next one, we're going to give you 3 months off. Imagine that. Anyway, family, Tigers Nest radio program every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 7 p.m. sharp. Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. Make sure you're there. And if you're not there, you can subscribe. You can subscribe to the Tigers Nest. Of course, all you have to do is contact us, Priest Isaac Institute at gmail.com, and let us know that you would like to be a subscriber to the Tigers Nest. And yeah, no sooner said than done. And speaking of subscription, it's going to be the 1st of August. The 1st of Mosiah. Tendai Mare, the 1st of August 2024. We're talking about the brand new magazine, Kidemi, fully loaded, fully digital. We're going to be highlighting, of course, Baba Heru Samaj. Yeah, the Ankh man. A beautiful interview that I did with him. We are going to be highlighting Marcus Messiah Garvey, the cosmic man. In fact, that's the cover story, really. Marcus Messiah Garvey. The cosmic man. It's the month of Messiah. Yeah, is Al-Kabbalan taught us that. August is the month of Messiah. So for sure, look forward to the magazine. All you have to do is email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, and let us know. I would like to have my free subscription. You do not have to pay for the magazine, and the magazine is fully loaded. The magazine is well packed. Information, inspiration, you know, interviews, features, and it's digital too. So videos, documentaries, audios, all in one magazine. It's deep, some deep stuff here. Listen, family, all you have to do is email me and let me put your name on the subscription list. That's all. And you can go and ride your bike and you will get the magazine when the time comes. Demi, that's the name of the magazine. Definitely. Subscribe today. Yeah, that's the far right. All right, give thanks as we flow.
Are you searching for unique handmade Black cultural crafts, t-shirts, and accessories? Look no further. Introducing your ultimate destination for the vibrant and captivating creations that celebrate Rastafari and African culture. At Black Dominion, we bring you a curated collection of exquisitely designed, crafted products honoring the rich heritage of Rastafari, Ethiopia, and the Black diaspora. With our user-friendly website, shopping is a breeze. We ship worldwide, bringing Black culture to every corner of the globe. Visit www.blackdominion.shop today and start exploring the incredible range of handmade Rastafari and Black culture. Find your inspiration, embrace your roots, and stand out from the crowd.
All right, beautiful stuff talking about Black Dominion, all powers. Hail, Honorable Prophet Corey Harris, master musician. And of course, we will also be highlighting Black Dominion in the brand new magazine, Kidemi. I want to go straight to the subject area, Royal Family. For those who are just joining us, we glorify Emperor Haile Selassie I on this, the earth strong of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. Of course, 23rd of July, 1892. Now, what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to take the privilege to borrow some of the interview that took place, or discussion, not an interview, it was a discussion that took place a few days ago on the platform known as Got Kush TV. Again, a platform we highly respect, highly respect, and we've been saying that even before this, I would use the term issue came up. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to allow the audience to listen at least to the clips that I would have chosen. The discussion was about 3 hours long, and I'm going to take the key parts that highlighted Haile Selassie I. So this is interesting. I'm not even picking out what I want as such, because I listened to the whole of it. And not to be disrespectful, but a lot of it was very empty. I mean, like, just unnecessary, and a lot of laughing and giggling, and to the nature of this subject and the level of propaganda that they were just spitting out and spewing back to the community. I didn't find it funny at all. I really didn't find it funny. We need to come better than this when it comes to Haile Selassie I. If you don't know, you just don't know. And basically, they said they didn't know. They said that what they were discussing a few days ago was a 1 month worth of research. 1 month. And I think he was the one that did the research, because the other two sisters said, boy, time got away. But yet still they're there saying the little that they know. And the research was where? YouTube. Anyway, family, as I said, I'm not, I want to make sure you understand the importance of why I'm bringing this to the forefront. Everyone knows me, I'm not vindictive at all. You know, I'm not even into too much back and forth. But when it comes to Haile Selassie, this is not religion here, man. We talk about ancestors and respect your elders. Well, this is an elder you need to respect. Trust me. And you don't come and just talk about the King of Kings in no funny, giggling way. I'm very sorry, but that is this tiger here. We don't play when it comes to this stuff here. Anyway, give thanks for your presence, each and every one. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take the privilege once again, all courtesy of Got Kush TV, who was, let's say, what's the term here? Facilitating this discussion. I don't see none of the individuals that I highly spoke of a moment ago anywhere in sight. But yeah, so we have, I think this is Sister Stella B and Brother Nate, the lyricist, and I'm actually introducing them. And family, if you don't know them, you will get to know them now. And I'm going to try my best not to interrupt this little flow here until it's completed. I'm going to try.
Have to look at the Berlin Conference. We have to look at World War One and Two. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you have to look up.
Drag you back, but listen, my poem, Winnie Mandela, in 1936, it starts with a line about 1936, all the different things that were happening, including 1936 when Haile Selassie had to seek refuge in the UK, and I read back on it. I was like, right, I actually mentioned this all the way back.
Wow.
That's
look at that, Mum.
That's when she was born. She She was born.
This is such an excellent project. I'm telling you, this is such a good project. I'm
really glad that
I'm really grateful that we're doing this.
Because, like, the duality of his character, there's so much to learn. But I'm glad that some of us have taken it there to look at all different kind of perspectives. Like me, my capacity hasn't been there this month, so I haven't gone in as much as the research, but I'm looking forward to learning more from you guys.
Well, from Brother Nate.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll join us. I'm eating my food, yeah. When I'm coming, I'm going to join later. I'm going to listen first, you know.
Okay, so let me...
I know you guys have got a couple gems.
Yeah, let me introduce the show first off to poetry. And poetry is a very potent way to reach audiences, to teach audiences. It's a language code that connects with people. So obviously, as we digest all the information about this person, we then put that into our individual poetry styles and then share it at Auntie Jean's African Culture Market on a third Sunday of the month. So the next one coming up is going to be the 21st of July. And this month, we have been studying and looking into the very controversial, in the end, that's the sound of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie. So we would like to go in today and just share what we've learned, share our thoughts about, you know, what has been going on with the study, how we found it. Duality slipped off again.
As you know, of course.
Yeah.
But this is the space to let it all out. This is the space to let the people know why this was such a challenging, revolutionary mind for us to study. Because I found Haile Selassie, like I said, to be one of the most challenging.
Okay, so first of all, like, let me just start from the beginning. I didn't know any of this until when I got with Nat. Nat was breaking down for me the complex nature of the history of Haile Selassie, and that's when I first heard the other side of the fact that, you know, when there was war that broke out against the Italians, that he fled to the UK and spent 5 years away from his people. So, and then the starvation era, which was later on, much later, further down in his time as emperor of a certain group. And yeah, during which a time he celebrated his, I believe his 80th, or it was a big birthday that was celebrated. No, not his 80th. It was a birthday celebration that was had.
80.
Was it his 80th birthday? And he spent like, or the
$200 million. $200 million in today's money while his people were starving.
Yeah. So that
happened.
I did say I was not going to interrupt, but I'm going to show you when I complete this aspect of it. Because as I said, I'm going to give you the key parts of what was being discussed here, and then I'll give you the truth. And I'll show you exactly where he got that propaganda from. Now listen, man, this is something that our grandparents used to tell us. And the individual who brought that propaganda out literally refuted it. But when I get there, we will get there. Let's just continue to listen to this for now.
$200 million. $200 million in today's money while his people were starving.
Yeah. So those
that happened.
were the first things that I kind of flipped my eye. Like before that, I didn't really know anything about. I'm not a really I'm spiritual, but I'm not religious. I don't follow any religion. So, and I'm kind of turned off by the idea of religion. I find it, and I see the significant importance for some people to have discipline. I think that is what people are seeking when they join certain sects or ideas or rituals, etc. But for me, I kind of, it makes me turn the other way. So for me, like, I didn't really understand the whole idea of Rastafari, so I don't judge it. I don't really get it. I like aspects of it and I respect it. But understanding and learning about the roots of it now, then I'm like, you know, like, it's just very, very, very bad. Well, not bad, yeah, but very dangerous to worship or, yeah, deify human beings. That's what that's what I think. But I really wish Watusi, brother Watusi, or someone was on to give a balanced view, perspective. Yeah, because it's not. People get spiritually called to these things, so there's that aspect I have to respect. You know, there's something about these things that will pull people in, and there's aspects about the religion itself that are good, really good. Like the respect of nature, and the call to Africa, the hearken to Africa. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, for me,
I guess it's important to remember that Haile Selassie wasn't the person who started Rastafarianism, and I don't believe that he ever particularly endorsed it. I know he went to Jamaica and he was blown away, but at the same time, unless I'm mistaken, I believe he himself said, "Don't deify me."
Yeah,
he was like, he said that, yeah, okay.
I've got it right here.
Yeah, he himself was like, "Don't deify me, man. I am, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm a human being. I'm going to just do my thing." But at the same time, he did believe that he was of Solomonic dynasty, that he was of the line of Solomon and David. And that did inform a lot of his decisions. Like when he was asked to step down, like, for example, when the famines were happening and all the coups were popping off and that, when he was in his 80s, and he was asked to step down, he said, "Listen, did Solomon step down or did David step down?" He said, "When God is finished with me, I'll be finished." And that was kind of how he saw himself, as just kind of a continuation of that energy, of that story, of that legacy. And I think, again, I agree with you, Stella, because I'm not big on religion. I was big on religion. I almost dug out my Bible for this one, but I did not dig out my Bible. I can't lie. It's still in a box in a cupboard where it belongs. Sorry, Bible readers. But, I almost dug it out for this one, but I decided not to. I Googled any scriptures that I needed to Google and kept it moving. Haile Selassie is Rastafari. That is his name. The Rastafari movement is kind of based on Rastafari. So to say that Rastafari's history and the Rastafari movement are not the same subjects is confusing to me, because how can you understand the Rastafari movement without understanding Rastafari? That doesn't make sense.
I agree.
Yeah. Yes.
If you're still there, Dreadman P, please ping in a comment. Let me know. Give me some insight, because I'm open. I want to hear. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, one thing I really want to say is that all of us, none of us are coming in here as experts on any of these revolutionary minds that we're studying. I've done 4 weeks of study on Haile Selassie. Do you know what I'm saying? I watched YouTube videos. But at the same time, that means that in the last month, I've probably watched about 20 hours of YouTube. I've, read long documents that you've been sending in the group chat, Stella. But still, 1 month of research is not gonna in any way, shape, or form account for like a lifetime of studying your belief system. So I'm very, very interested in hearing. I really want to know, like, if anyone is in the comment and they want to kind of chime in and give us some insights. I want the insights, but I can't understand that comment.
Even though they're all related, Queen Victoria's grandchildren or whatever, they're all the same people being running all around Europe. They seem to be the one that have the issue with everywhere else, Russia. So maybe there was some different intention. But let me look it up while you carry on.
Okay. Okay, so, all right then. So basically, 1892, Haile Selassie is born. 1893, the Russians come in. 1895, Italy attacks. Yeah, 1895, Italy attacks. 1896 is the Battle of Adwa. So Haile Selassie is a baby. Yeah, and what's he seeing? Do you know what I'm saying? He's seeing his uncle, who's the emperor, working with the Russians. He's modernizing. He's seeing all this modern. Do you know what I'm saying? He's adding new things. He's doing all of this. Then the Italians attacked and they got washed. You know what I'm saying? So he's thinking, right, it works. It's not like he was oblivious to what was going on. Haile Selassie was in the same house with the emperor. Do you know what I'm saying? And his dad, yeah? So his dad's gone off to battle and he's come back and he says, son, we won. Yeah, you get me? So this is the world that Haile Selassie is inheriting once again. Yeah, this is the world that Haile Selassie is inheriting. He's thinking, okay, we need to modernize. That's what Ethiopia needs to do. That was his plan from the beginning. His plan was, we need to modernize Ethiopia. Again, I'm not saying that he went about any of it the right way. I'm not saying that I'm not even saying it was a good plan. I don't think it was a good plan. You know, I think if you deal with white people, then you deserve what you get. You know, and I believe that his is a story that kind of tells us, that reminds us of that fact. You know, that he was there dealing with the enemy and trying to shake hands with the enemy. We even got into the League of Nations and how they abandoned him and all of that. And, you know, that's what you should have expected, because he's not Caucasian. Do you know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever he believed. He's African, yeah? Regardless of what he believed, he's not Caucasian. That is a fact. So, you know, he's there trying to, we'll get to the League of Nations. First things first, Battle of Adwa. Yeah, so one cool thing about the Battle of Adwa.
For anyone listening, we are turning all our learning of Haile Selassie into poetry form. Some of us are not going to do it, which is fair enough. And on for Auntie Jean's African Cultural Market, which is on this Sunday, we are going to perform there. We're going to go on the mic and deliver some of these words sound as they come. So I'm just asking you, Brother Nate, like, what is the angle that you've gone for?
No, that's just to give you an idea of what they plan to do with this misinformation here. They're going to put it in poetry form and go by Auntie Jean and have a good time. It's not funny, eh? It's not funny at all. Anyway, we're going to soon bring this aspect of the program to an end. I could see that he definitely got Kush there. Yes.
In their teeth, and they're telling you, oh, you need to research this one, you need to research that one. You know, I've got some good names. We're going to be looking at least one Somali general soon, you know. At least one Somali general soon still. Yeah. Either Al Ghurair or Magnola, one of those two, or maybe both eventually. You know? But yeah, you know, like I definitely, he's such a polarizing character, and I'm a Gemini, you know, so I don't mind a polarizing character. I'm really grateful that I have chosen him and that everyone's kind of on board with it, even though, like you said, some people are not going to write. Yeah, because I understand, you know, this has been a tough one. This has been a very challenging revolutionary mind to study. I feel like he's not the most revolutionary out of all the people that, for me, it might sound a bit callous, but I have to say it still because it is how I feel, yeah? I think for me to have considered him a revolutionary, when Benito Mussolini attacked, I would have expected a revolutionary to stand and fight to the death.
Now, that statement alone shows you exactly what's going on here. And you see, this is the problem with many people. I don't want to disrespect no one, but the truth is the truth. You see, knowledge is one thing, and there's a lack of knowledge here, first of all. There's a lot of misinformation, a lack of true information. But information, even the truth, knowledge is one thing, but understanding, understanding, overstanding, comprehension is something else. Now, you know history. It is not as if you are on the battlefield with the King of Kings, and then tomorrow your superior tells you that the emperor would have left and he's on his way to wherever. Yeah, no. This is 2024. That history is already said and done. That history, that episode then has already been recorded. We know the outcome. We know what happened when he went into so-called exile. We understood what happened to Mussolini and his army. We all know he explained that Ethiopia warded off the Italians before at the Battle of Adwa. And this is why Ethiopia stood as the only independent country in Africa. We're speaking of revolutionary minds here. We saw the end result. 5 days or 5 years, pardon me, to the day that he left, the king sat back on the throne. Sorry, sister, he didn't spend 5 years in England. We need to stop saying these foolish things. I'm surprised they didn't say he ran to the queen. My point is, if you're going to deal with the history of Haile Selassie, you got to come respectful. If you don't know, you just don't know. But don't just grab any old thing and then come and speak about this ancient here. If you respect ancestors as you say, if you respect elders as you say, you would be careful how you come to the table. And again, I must say, it is because of the platform where I saw this discussion here. And the people that I highly respect, not just those who run the platform, but the institution that they're coming from and their leader, who I know. But hey, let me be clear. If the leader would back this talk here, well, maybe I have a different understanding of the leader. Brother Manbandaka, I'm speaking of, as I pronounce his name to the best of my understanding. So the King of Kings, Haile Selassie, is supposed to just stay on the battlefield, get licked down. And then what would have happened, my good brother? Then what would have happened if Haile Selassie I would have get gunned down right there on the battlefield in Mechu? What would have been the result? Do you think you would have been there speaking with your pretty beard and eating your lunch about anything at all? I mean, we got to be more careful, brother. Listen, even when the emperor was in England, if that political war was not won, that's to show you how foolish we are. We think the war is just on the battlefield with the guns. Wow, what a mighty strategic, never before seen move was made by Negusa Nagas Haile Selassie I. Brilliance. And how the emperor kept up himself during that period, 3.5 years in exile. Let's get it right now. I'm tired of hearing the 5-year stuff. Oh, he spent 5 years in England. Give me a break. The emperor didn't leave Ethiopia to go to England, you know. Anyway, family, let the good people here finish their little speech, and then I will get to my stuff. Pardon me.
For me, it might sound a bit callous, but I have to say it still because it is how I feel, yeah? I think for me to have considered him a revolutionary, when Benito Mussolini attacked, I would have expected a revolutionary to stand and fight to the death. You know, stand and fight to the death. Doesn't matter if you lose, doesn't matter if you win. Stand on your square, protect your home, protect your people, and fight. You know, we didn't even speak about Benito Mussolini. We got halfway. We did the history. We didn't even do like the present and future effects of his thing. You know, literally, I'm on page 14. I'm on page 14. I'm gonna pull my punches. But at the same time, I want to try and give a holistic story. Like I told you today, I've kind of gone through boom, 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 start from the beginning. That's what my poem, that's what I'm going with it.
Okay. Ooh, yeah, no, that's powers. I mean, like, it's an epic.
What about you?
Epic journey that you're going to take. For me, I was very interested in the idea of what a king is, but even now you've just added this dynamic of even the word emperor being even higher than a king.
All right, family. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. Now, what I would like to do here, I would like to show to you, family, what a real revolutionary mind is all about. Now, let me just put a few things to rest. And I have some examples here. Now, as you heard the brother say, and I have to highlight the brother, he's he who was speaking. You know, he watched about 20 hours worth of YouTube videos. Now, for sure, once you type in Haile Selassie into YouTube, and especially with movie and documentary behind it, the master of ceremonies will appear. A petty mech will appear. For those who do not know, those are documentaries, full-length documentaries that I would have done. So I'm very positive that at least the brother would have come across works that we would have done. And we cover Haile Selassie on all them levels that he boom, boom, boom been talking about there. And levels ones don't even think about. But anyway, let's just stick to what was said there. One of the things that was highlighted was, again, you know, that he fled for 5 years, which we just, you know, highlighted that not being so. Also, with Rastafari, the people, and him not endorsing them and not really paying attention to them. I mean, to hear that sort of garbage. When Haile Selassie I visited Jamaica, it was not a religious visit, and he gave 31 gold medals to the 31 heads, of the Rastafari movement. Just meditate on that. Now, if that's not endorsement. Now, a few things. Family, just make sure you're in order here. I just want to highlight the importance of us knowing that when Benito Mussolini attacked Ethiopia, 1935, we're talking about the only African country that has not gone under the colonial grip. Do you understand that, family? Do you know what that means? That means, listen to me good, that there was one more country. Nobody going to attack Liberia. Liberia's flag is the US flag. There was one more country left. One piece of real estate that we need to grab. The empire of Menelik II. Let's grab it. Gun them down. Let's go back again. Of course we're going back again, but this time we ain't going back to lose. And with all the minerals that they would have robbed from Africa, they created tanks and bombs unlike any ever seen. Yeah, because you can say what you want. The might that Europe had, the might that Britain had, the gold and diamonds and the crowns that they wore, they got the raw material from the people that they enslaved and colonized. So it's not as if they were coming with something that they got from their own place. That was stolen material. That's why they have to keep the place colonized and enslaved so they can continually rob it of its precious raw material and the raw resources, even the human resources. Now, of the different nations, countries, kingdoms. Now, Italy came into Ethiopia. Remember, Ethiopia had a tank. And I think about 2 planes, or the other way around, a plane and 2 tanks, something like that. Italy came in with battleships, with planes taking off of the ship. I think it was 40,000 tanks I read in a report there. Just think about this. This is what came upon the people of Ethiopia. This is what came upon Emperor Haile Selassie I. And the sister said, when Mussolini invaded, Haile Selassie fled. Is that so? Is that so? Mussolini was nowhere close. And Haile Selassie was on the front line of the war. You people can't come and diss my God. Impossible. This tiger don't play around. You gotta come good. You can invite me to your platform, I will sit with you. And we get the story straight. On the battlefield with the biggest gun, Haile Selassie I. You understand this? We talking about revolutionary. We're talking about a diplomatic mind. Even placing Ethiopia in the League of Nations, my brother with the beard. Not because the League of Nations turned their back on the king. I mean, come on, we understand how they roll, but the king was extremely strategic, and it was because Ethiopia was in the League of Nations, it actually gave the emperor time. Man, we don't even understand that, because remember what he proposed to the League, what he brought to Geneva. He had the right to bring such. It was his rights. It was their protocol. Collective security. In fact, if he was not a member of the League of Nations, I mean, they would just bomb Ethiopia, boom, 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 right away. Because he would not have had a case. There was not a defense. Yes, they were all wolves, don't get me wrong. And they pretended to, we're going to look at Ethiopia's case tomorrow. I understand that. We know the story. We understand they're crooks. That's why the League became defunct. In fact, it was the destruction of the League and Hitler marching into the Rhineland and Poland. You know the story. Why Britain and France said, oh no, we need help here. It's not Haile Selassie need help here, Britain and France, we need help here. This is the sick part of us as Black people. We just swallow any old garbage when we could take our time and do our own research. The emperor himself, he's not a liar. He wrote the history so you could read. How many of you on the poetic platform there literally read the emperor's version of his own story? To see, the levels of diplomacy that the emperor went through. What a beauty. to make sure that we can sit and critique him, you wouldn't even be around. You don't understand? All the African kingdoms were done with. The countries were colonialized. It was just one more left. Haile Selassie is Ethiopia. And once they locked that off, that would be it. It just didn't happen because of the resistance of that man there. Of course, and the people, but the mind factor, all the revolutionary he talking about. Put Jean-Jacques Dessalines, I'm not dissing Dessalines, eh? I love Dessalines. You crazy, don't try. You see, that's what these people do. They make you, you know, as if you're going against yourself. He said that he put Haile Selassie in the ranks of a Toussaint Louverture, not Dessalines. So I'm telling him, put Dessalines on the Ethiopian throne when Mussolini attacked, and let's see what the outcome would have been. Yeah, nobody else, not even Menelik II. Ethiopia would have been done. Only one human being. Did Marcus Garvey say the king shouldn't have left? That's just to show you how powerful this is. Nobody else. No other human being. That's the savior of the world. I'm not talking no religion here, you know. As you said, brother, your Bible is in a box in the closet. I didn't say Acts chapter nothing up to now. All I said is if Ethiopia was fully colonized by Mussolini, this world that you know today could never be the world that it is now. I am positive of that. You see the problem with us as so-called conscious people? All of us, we have fallen for that trap to turn a blind eye to Haile Selassie I. Just like in America, they teach them to forget Marcus Garvey. In the rest of the world, they teach us to forget Haile Selassie. We even put Kwame Nkrumah above Haile Selassie as if Haile Selassie wasn't there when they started the OAU. I don't have no time to play. And what you did and your sister did was to just regurgitate the foolish vomit that they have been filling our heads with since whenever. Look at that. The King of Kings, the royal killer. You talking about revolutionary. Man, they have to put the hand in the ears. As the real revolutionary there, licking planes out of the sky. The royal God again. Revolutionary. Several guns the king have on him there, you know. Revolutionary. The foot on the bombs. Bring your revolutionaries, let me see. Bring their pictures, let me see any of them. With a picture like this, when the emperor put his feet on the bombs that could not explode in his presence. That's a true story. Eh? The man that took the picture, they said the man was like so afraid. I read that in the book written by Harold G. Marcus. Yeah. The fella that took the picture of Haile Selassie with his feet, or his foot, pardon me, on the bomb. Interesting. At least the one that made the magazine, because I mean, it's arguable that you know, different angles, whatever. But it said in that book, and it was you know, it was back in the days when you had to light a match and put it on some sort of gunpowder or whatever, and it made a flash, poof, so that you get the light, and then the picture would have developed, or however it works out. But anyway, they say when he light the match, because I think you have to have a cloth over your head, almost like a cartoon. And he let go the match. When the thing flashed, the photographer was at least 30 feet away from the camera because he was so afraid that the flash from the gunpowder would ignite the bombs and they would blow up. And the King of Kings have his foot on them bombs in his royal attire. He looks so pretty and well-dressed, the man on the battlefield, to show the world we ain't playing around here. And I'm going to just sit down and have people mocking my garden, eating food, and having a joyous time. No, this is the tiger's nest, brother. We don't play. No, this ain't no, I have nothing against anyone. Eh? I don't even know nobody, these people here. But they need to know the truth. And they basically left the door open. You know, those who can comment, well, I comment in here. I haven't even begun it. Family don't run nowhere. I have more to give you, much more. What you need to do is to like the video. That's what you need to do. And put them thumbs up going, let them go and share the video too and let others understand. You don't just come and talk any old smack to Haile Selassie I. Revolutionary. You know what's going on here? When Haile Selassie I, before he went to the League of Nations and brought that to rubble, I'm not even going for no scripture. If I go for scripture now, it's a next level, but I will leave it at that. Let's stick to the history as it is. Before the emperor went, his battlefield, the emperor scarred on the battlefield. The emperor hands well scarred up, you know, heavy artillery. The King of Kings bossing on these people. Think we have time to play? Anything you can give him, he firing the shot. When the emperor returned, he didn't have to pick up a gun. Why? Because as he said in the pamphlet, I return with the might of Britain. And when the king returned with the might of Britain, you know, it's not no following Britain like how, if you notice how the rest of the world works and they put down kings and set up their own government. They were trying that. This is another thing. Do you understand the history? Do you comprehend the history? How Haile Selassie still had to ward off the British, pardon me, after utilizing their machinery against their brothers. This is unprecedented, if you want to say, never seen in history, that a mind like Haile Selassie, he could take Britain's artillery to follow him into Ethiopia to remove Italy. Wow. One colonial master removing another colonial master, colonizer, I should say, from the land of a free people. And then as colonizers are, because you had wolves within the pack that wanted Ethiopia to bow now. So, well, we got back your country for you. And so how they didn't get hold on to Ethiopia? What means did the emperor use to get Britain out? Diplomacy, revolutionary mind. My brother and sister, this world would not be the world that you know today, even though it ain't no perfect world. But it's livable if it wasn't for Haile Selassie I. So you people better come better than that. Now, let's talk about the real revolutionary man now. I'm highlighting a picture of Haile Selassie I in the 60s with some of the freedom fighters from the different parts of Africa, specifically Southern Africa, Zimbabwe, I'm talking Rhodesia, North, South Rhodesia, them kind of places. If you look at the picture good, those of you who know it. You see Brother Nelson Mandela also within the picture. I'm not talking about the Nelson Mandela that came out of prison now. So don't come tell me, well, I don't, that, no. We're talking about before prison. So that's a different episode. So when Nelson Mandela was fighting for the freedom of South Africa, he came to Ethiopia. He came to Haile Selassie, the chief revolutionary. They received training. Not only training, they also received other things. Yeah, he got a passport and a new name that allowed him, Nelson Mandela, to travel throughout parts of Africa to get himself in order to go back to South Africa and Southern Africa in general, and, you know what I mean, put fire under the enemy for the revolution. Follow me, good family. Let me show you this here, as we're speaking about the whole aspect of the revolution. This is, let me get this here. Now, you're going to have to listen to this good, eh? You're going to have to listen to this good. In fact, before we do that, let me give you something else first. Let me give you something else. Now, this is the speech, or part of the speech that John F. Kennedy gave when Haile Selassie I visited the USA in 1963. And this aspect of the speech speaks of revolution. It was I'm not going to give you the whole speech. I just want to highlight the part that speaks of a revolution, because that's the subject, revolution. Listen to what Kennedy says.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know I speak in behalf of all of my fellow Americans in welcoming His Imperial Majesty back to the United States. Since His Majesty visited the United States nearly a decade ago, we have seen one of the most extraordinary revolutions in history. And that has been the appearance on the world scene of 29 independent countries in the short space of less than 10 years, including over 150 million people.
Oh, hold on.
The conference recently held...
Hold on, this is where I'm saying, hey man, we got to get this thing clear.
Ago, we have seen...
Since His Majesty's visit to America a decade ago. So this is 1963. And Haile Selassie visited, I think it was 1954. But anyway, yeah, same time frame. Since that time,
welcoming His Imperial Majesty back to the United States. Since His Majesty visited the United States nearly a decade ago, we have seen one of the most extraordinary revolutions in history.
We have seen one of the most extraordinary revolutions or revolution in history.
And that has been the appearance on the world scene of 29 independent countries.
And that has been the appearance on the world scene of 29 independent countries. So what that have to do with Haile Selassie? Who is this crazy man talking here? Oh, that's John F. Kennedy. Oh.
In the short space of less than 10 years.
And don't tell me you don't respect Kennedy. That's not the point. Kennedy know what he's saying.
29 independent countries in the short space of less than 10 years, including over 150 million people.
Including over 150 million people in the short span of less than 10 years. Never seen nothing like this before. Greatest revolution in the world history.
The conference recently held in His Majesty's capital served, I think, to bring together in a great cooperative movement the people of most of these countries. And the success of that conference was due in no small part to the leadership of our distinguished guest. His efforts to move his country forward and provide a better life for its people. And his efforts throughout the world, which stretch back over 30 or 40 years. For all of this, Your Majesty, we take the greatest pride in welcoming you here. You do us honor. And I can assure you that there is no guest that we will receive in this country that will give a greater sense of livelier pride and satisfaction to the American people.
How you say that? You sure? He said there'll be no other guest that we shall receive in this country that shall give us pride and satisfaction.
And I can assure you that there is no guest that we will receive in this country that will give a greater sense of livelier pride and satisfaction to the American people.
No guess. The Queen of England came after that. The Pope of Rome. No guess.
In your presence here today, Your Majesty, you're most welcome.
Several popes of Rome, but no guess after him will bring them such pride and satisfaction. But anyway, the point really was the revolutionary discussion. Never before have we seen such a revolution in history. 29 countries gaining their independence in less than 9 years, over 150 million people. Not just in Africa, no, even in other places. Now you see, this, as you said, stages, because a lot of, not all these independent countries really began the next stage known as neocolonialism. But that's another discussion, but that's in most cases, almost all. But that's what, when people speak of emancipation, for example, emancipation, independence, you have to understand these different terms, and slavery and colonialism and all of that stuff. Yes, emancipation. That's why we don't really celebrate Emancipation Day. It's almost like we celebrate it, you know, but it's not a celebration as such like the other celebrations we have. It's something like a memorial. This is what I learned from my elders, because what happened, they took off the shackles. Now we're still not free. We still ain't fully liberated. We obviously know that. We can go on, but it is as if we pass a stage then where we definitely don't have those shackles. There's some other level of shackles around us, for sure. It's just like you're not in prison, but believe me, it's like we're all in some level of prison. So it's just an understanding like that. But anyway, the revolutionary aspect of it. I don't want to stay too long on that point. Now let me move on here quickly. They were speaking of, listen to this now. They were speaking of the famine in the 1970s and Haile Selassie at his 80th birthday party in 1972 having such a grand, lavish dinner. 1972, I wasn't born yet. But when I born listening and hearing all of that stuff. Haile Selassie feeding his lions while the people them starving. They don't say that today, but when I was young, that's all I knew about Haile Selassie, that he fed his lions and the people were starving. That's all I knew about Haile Selassie. As I say, you don't hear it today. That's why it was such a shameful thing to hear the young blood and the sister talking that crap. I said, wow, imagine in this year, 2024, we have people that supposedly conscious, and again, look where they are. Look where they are. Got Kush. As I said, they're representing to me, well, they're on Kimbunga, Whirlwind Media, which is representing Al-Kebelan, no respect to Brother Shakara. But I cannot sit back, especially even in defense of Got Kush TV. I have to make people know, well, hey, I hope I'm correct here, but this is not the views of this program here, are not the views of Marcus Garvey and Got Kush TV at all. But anyway, family, I'm going to give you a quick excerpt from the movie Grandpa Was an Emperor. I did a whole series of Grandpa Was an Emperor on Radio Anu. And family, remember, that's where I'm at right now, Radio Anu. So you coming on YouTube, say, oh, the priest don't upload no video today. I'm on Radio Anu. We're having a grand time here on Radio Anu. The link is in the description below. Revolutionary Radio. Give thanks. So I did a whole series on the Tiger's Nest on Grandpa Was an Emperor. Give thanks, a beautiful documentary. You know, we love it. We have our own little opinions here and there, but we're thankful all, you know, definitely. Now, the aspect I'm going to present to you is the area that has to do with the famine. Now, the voice you're going to hear, Jonathan, what's his name? I'll tell you when it comes up. He is the individual that did the report on the famine that went around the world as this propaganda stuff. Just let's listen to this. This is courtesy again of Grandpa Was an Emperor. And let me just make sure everything is sharing before I go. Okay, perfect.
In your opinion, did His Majesty understand the level of the famine, or was he being kept separate from it?
You are opening a Pandora's box. It was kept undercover. It took a BBC reporter who exploded this thing to the world, and everybody woke up.
I had a friend who was at university with me and said, we've got some Ethiopian students here who say that they're...
And his name is Jonathan Dimbelby. And he's a journalist and a historian. He was working with the BBC at the time when he uncovered the famine in Ethiopia.
Being suppressed, and there's a terrible situation of famine in the country. And no one knew anything about this. This is the summer of 1973, late summer of 1973. And we went out, and I found myself in the midst of a complete nightmare. And it's the most horrific thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Those people who are in this shed here are getting weaker every day. Many of them can no longer take food or drink. All of them are bound to die.
In Ethiopia as a whole, nearly 2 million people are suffering. The feudal government of Emperor Haile Selassie did little to stop the dying. Each week since November, the government's emergency committee has met to coordinate the relief operation. The ministries represented here must take much of the blame for the deaths from starvation last year. They had been warned. The Ministry of Agriculture reported 6 months in advance that the spring of 1973 would bring famine to Ethiopia. The government suppressed the report.
Heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. And remember, you know, this is 72, 73. And this is something that has always been on the table as it relates to the debate of the emperor himself and his knowledge of the actual famine. But anyway, it's going to all come out here.
The political tension began to mount.
This is the voice you hear is the reporter from 73 speaking now in 2000 and I think 22 when this was done, or 23. I think it's 2022, speaking now to this documentary, Grandpa Was an Emperor. The same man, eh? The same man. Okay, listen to what he has to say.
The political tension began to mount, and a copy of our film was then very cleverly manipulated by what became the Derg. They edited my film to suggest that the emperor knew what was going on.
The Derg edited my film to suggest that the emperor knew what was going on.
They called it the hidden hunger.
They called it the hidden hunger.
And it was an extremely crude edit with pictures of Haile Selassie having a great time.
It was an extremely crude edit. Because I've seen it, you know. of Haile Selassie having an extremely good time. I mean, I see this in so many different documentaries. Have you ever seen the documentary with the king blowing out a cake with about 80 candles on it? Yeah, that's the same snip that went around the world. This is the man that uncovered the famine. He is telling you what the Derg would have done with the film to make it look
what was going on. They called it the hidden hunger. And it was an extremely crude edit with pictures of Haile Selassie having a great time driving around in his Rolls Royce, intercut with images of starving children. I mean, nothing could have been more crass. They ran that film on the television on a loop, 24 hours at a time. And I was appalled, but there was nothing you could do.
He said he was now remember, this is before the overthrow, you know. And he said they ran that on television. And he was appalled, but there's nothing you could do. Now that hit the world and even circulate in Ethiopia. And you may say, well, how that circulated? You don't understand what's going on, eh? It was a coup that take over Ethiopia, an uprising, you know. And at the same time, remember that we just did a program. Just like a few days before the assassination attempt on Mr. Trump, we did a program about the attempted assassination on Emperor Haile Selassie I. But you see, a lot of us, we miss all of this stuff. They give Fidel Castro and Gaddafi like the top marks for the amount of assassination attempts that they escape. But what about Haile Selassie in them latter times? When they see they couldn't get the king, all helicopter crash and the king walk out like some kind of superhero. And the helicopter pilot nearly died. And not a scratch on the king. When they see this, they say, no, man, we have to try something else. It's not working. Let's do like him. Let's go on the diplomatic front. Yeah. You have to understand even the whole nature, topography, Ethiopia, everything have its complexity of it, you know, complex itself. So that is why, for example, the Somalia, he was speaking earlier about the Somalia people hating the king. I'm not denying that. And the people from Eritrea disliking the king. I'm not denying that neither. A lot of that is culture. A lot of that is history. I mean, young people born into a culture, they never meet no king. They never meet no Haile Selassie. It's not even Haile Selassie they don't like. They don't like the Ethiopians, although them and the Ethiopians are the same people. Can you imagine Eritrea? Eritrea now. I was watching a documentary where an individual in Eritrea, I think he's a curator of a museum, and he's saying we're just playing catch up because now we became independent in 1991. We're kind of, you know, consolidating our own history. This is deep because the point I'm making, Aksum, the kingdom of Aksum, part of it is in Eritrea, and part of it is in Ethiopia, and then maybe even Djibouti, etc., etc. But when you start to divide people that are really one, then all of a sudden now some of Aksum history is no longer Ethiopian history, but it's Eritrean history. That is why Haile Selassie was so bent on keeping Ethiopia and Eritrea as one. You know, but you see again being vilified by the wicked world. Now, the good brother said that he was watching, and I'm almost done. The good brother said that he was watching several documentaries. Again, I'm not even sure how many of mine he really took in. But for sure, once you are looking for Haile Selassie and you're searching for documentaries, you will see the Master of Ceremonies and you will see Mapedimek, you know. All right, fair enough. Now, when it comes to the King of Kings, I want to show you this, family. And again, we're soon sealing up. I'm going to stick to the revolutionary aspect of this. In 1963, Haile Selassie visited the US, as we just, you know, saw with Kennedy. And on Meet the Press, this is very important. And why this is so important is because the clarity, the audio is not too clear here, but the message is profound. The host of Meet the Press, or not the host, but one of the reporters asking the question to Haile Selassie, he's going to ask a question dealing with the ongoing fight for freedom in Southern Africa. And in his clever way, he's going to ask the emperor if he, Haile Selassie, is supplying arms like guns and that kind of stuff to the people in Southern Africa, the people still under apartheid. Now, this very, very tricky, eh? But the emperor is going to answer him in a diplomatic way, but still show him that, hey, listen, we are revolutionaries. Now, for those who believe in revolution, I want you to listen to the question good and listen to the answer as well. And I repeat that the audio may not be the best, so you would have to really, again, listen good.
Sir, are the African states providing arms and other assistance to those forces that are fighting against existing regimes in Africa?
Because this is his, I think his third question, or the second part of a second question. But the African, let's go again.
In the meantime,
and listen to this, family. This is very important as well. I want you to get this good. This Meet the Press interview with Haile Selassie really highlights who Haile Selassie is in the African Revolution. Listen to this.
Sir, are the African states providing arms and other assistance to those forces that are fighting against existing regimes in Africa?
So are they providing arms and assistance to those who are fighting resistance in Africa? Okay, good. So he's going to ask the king the question in Amharic, and the king is going to answer in Amharic, and then he's going to read it in English. He being Haile Manasseh, which is his interpreter. The man that tell you what Haile saying, the Manasseh, he telling you what the Manasseh. You know, like when we say the man say, Haile Manasseh. That's the name of Haile Selassie's interpreter, you know. Haile Manasseh. So he telling you what Haile the Manasseh. Listen to the Manasseh.
I would like to say that on the general question, I hope that all material, energy, and resources that are wasted for the purposes of arms race would cease to be so and would be converted for the purpose of peaceful advancement of mankind. But insofar as passing on arms to freedom fighters throughout Africa, perhaps the best first people to ask are those that have been considered to have passed such arms. But
so you heard that. So first of all, he's saying, as far as the question, when it comes to ammunition and all the materials that have been put together for war, paraphrasing, we definitely are more, promoting peace, and we would prefer to see all of that gone towards peaceful measures. As far as those who are giving arms to other countries for such reasons, you should ask those who have been accused of that. Now listen to what he says after this.
So far as the recipient, freedom country, freedom loving, freedom fighters are concerned, we understand their motive, and it's legitimate.
As far as the freedom fighting countries are concerned, we understand their motive, and it is legitimate. So obviously the King of Kings is with the revolution. And listen, man, I mean, you gotta be diplomatic. He's the greatest diplomat. We know the history. I just show you that Nelson Mandela got military training, and others, they got security. They got a pass to go through the rest of Africa. All of that is a part of the war. Listen to this.
I can think important means of influencing human beings.
Miss Frederick, Your Majesty, in view of the African...
This is Miss Frederick from the NBC. Just listen to the question. I'm not even going to give you the answer, just the question.
Human beings.
Miss Frederick, Your Majesty, in view of the African drive against colonialism and South African racism, what is the place the white man will have in Africa? Does he have any choice between leaving or accepting domination by the black man?
You understand that? Listen to that. Let's get it. We need to get that word for word.
Frederick, Your Majesty, in view of the African drive against colonialism.
Your Majesty, in the view of the African drive against colonialism
and South African racism.
And South African racism.
What is the place the white man?
What is the place the white man would have?
Will have in Africa? Does he have
Africa? Does he have
any choice between leaving or accepting domination?
Does he have any choice between leaving or accepting domination
by the black man?
By the black man? No. This is Miss Frederick from the NBC. Judgment. Yes, the challenge jump a while ago. Yes, all right, Chalo, I like it. The challenge, I like it, jump. Just meditate, just the question, not the answer. She is asking Haile Selassie, which obviously is the representative of Africa. What choice does the white world have? Do they have to leave or can they stay? Again, just the fact that an NBC reporter they have two questions, and look what she asked the king. And nobody look at her and say, what kind of foolishness is that? He don't know that. No. He know that. He is the one that have that power in his hand. That's how the world was looking at the King of Kings. That is why John F. Kennedy had to clearly let you know that nobody else coming here. Nobody else coming after you, even after they assassinate me. That ain't going to change a thing. That gives us greater pride and satisfaction as your presence with us here today, Your Imperial Majesty. Oh my, you are most welcome. Now, family, this is serious. So again, as I said, just to understand the question alone, the question alone shows you the level of respect that they give to Haile Selassie as a world leader. Now listen to the second question for the brother who has his Bible in the box, in the closet.
That the people that were forced must have the force and society.
Majesty, in the 16th year of the League of Nations, you accurately prophesied its fate.
In the 16th year of the League of Nations, you accurately prophesied its fate. That's what she said. This brother says the king should have died on the battlefield. We got to do better than this, We got to do better than this. Now, if the king would have died on the battlefield, do you know how many wars Haile Selassie stopped? I mean, after World War II. In Biafra, in the Congo, between Algeria and Morocco. In fact, I'm just going to run a little clip here for you. I'm not going to take too much time to do this. But this was a fighting going on between Algeria and Morocco for a while. And there was a lot of tension on the borderline at a specific time. And Haile Selassie I flew into the war zone. Haile Selassie flew into the war zone and literally went to France and went to Mali to organize diplomatic assistance to bring an end to the war between Algeria and Morocco. I want you to listen to the statements given by this narrator in this documentary as it highlights the King of Kings bringing peace to these warring nations. Listen to this.
And then word came. Morocco and Algeria would meet in Bamako.
And then word came. Morocco and Algeria will meet in Bamako, pardon me, the capital of Mali.
In the capital of Mali, which had left only a short while ago, His Imperial Majesty was greeted by President Modibo Keïta. The two heads of state were to act as mediators during the peace talks. This meeting was to be the climax of the Emperor's search for peace in Africa.
This meeting was to be the climax of the Emperor's search for peace in Africa.
His word had succeeded where others had failed.
His words have succeeded where others had failed.
Both countries were to meet under his chairmanship, and an agreement on ceasefire was signed.
Both countries would meet under his chairmanship, and an agreement of ceasefire was signed.
It called for an immediate cessation of hostilities and propaganda.
It called for an immediate cessation of hostilities and propaganda.
And provided for a demilitarized zone patrolled by Ethiopian and Malian troops.
And provided for a demilitarization zone patrolled by Malian and Ethiopian troops.
Later, a conference of all the foreign ministers of Africa was to be held in Addis Ababa to find a permanent solution to the problem.
Later, a conference of all foreign ministers of Africa at Addis Ababa to find a permanent solution for the conflict. Close enough. Listen to this.
Events have already told the full story.
Events have already told the full story.
The Emperor's achievement was complete.
The Emperor's achievement was complete.
No longer did Africans fight Africans.
No longer did Africans fight Africans.
And all the continent rejoiced with him and thanked him for his efforts in finding a solution to the problem that had once seemed insoluble.
And all the, let's get that one again, that's too long.
No longer did Africans fight Africans. And all the continent rejoiced with him.
And all the continent rejoiced with him.
Thanked him for his efforts in finding a solution.
And thanked him in his efforts of finding, for his efforts of finding a solution
to the problem that had once seemed insoluble.
To the problems that had once seemed insolvable.
It was a great personal triumph for His Imperial Majesty.
It was a great personal triumph for His Imperial Majesty.
Africa, under his leadership, had set an example.
Africa, under his leadership, had set an example. All when Kennedy was talking, this didn't happen yet, you know. Wow, imagine if this happened, Kennedy would have been still talking up to now.
It had shown the rest of the world the way to settle disputes between nations.
It had shown the rest of the world how to settle disputes amongst brethren. And you're going to do a 3 weeks to a month research, watching YouTube, and just come on the internet, giggling and laughing, and eating, and trying to, maybe you were not trying, but you got to do better than that. It was horrible. To me, that should even come down the level of sloppy work that we as conscious people want to bring to the world as it relates to Haile Selassie I. Hold on, I soon done now. Now I'm going to show you why it was important for me to bring this forward. Again, all respect to Brother Shakara and Got Kush TV. And not just Got Kush TV now, but Kimbunga Media, who I support and respect, and the full works. And not to mention the family itself, Al Kebelan. Now I'm going to give you, this was a program I did. And I was utilizing again information from the family. And this was a lecture that Brother Leader Mandeke, hope the pronunciation is correct, gave at, I don't know where he was at when he gave this lecture here, but this was a riveting presentation. I think King Ija Star was in the audience too. It's on YouTube. And he was speaking of the level of, propaganda that we tend to eat up as it relates to Marcus Garvey's relationship with Haile Selassie. Marcus Garvey specifically had his own opinion, and Marcus Garvey is an individual that speaks his mind how he wants to speak his mind. But the wicked world has taken that and made a mountain out of a molehill. And those of us who are conscious, those of us who are supposed to be of a oneness of family, we trying to divide our own family. Talking about, oh, you remember what Uncle Lester said to Uncle Cecil? You still bringing that up? When Uncle Lester and Uncle Cecil put that aside, so why are you still bringing it up? Let's keep the family together, yo. Brother Mandeke.
Sorry. You see, real Garvey, I come with. Real Garvey, I come like who you trying to fool. Back on with that. Is that, all right. That's Marcus Garvey. You can read on that deal. Good introduction to Garvey, and Garvey is about the primary scholar. Foremost scholar and the most eminent prophet and king. In 1922, while he was Prince Regent, he sent a message. He did what? I can't hear you. He did what? He sent a message to the UNIA. Sorry, the UNIA. I'm preaching and teaching right through, and praying and rejoicing and giving thanks unto the Almighty for the powerful, magnanimous legacy of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Garvey. Right, so we're saying in 1922, while he was Prince Regent, he sent a message to the UNIA. See that? In New York, inviting Africans from the West to come and help build Ethiopia. He sent it to the UNIA, headed by the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Garvey. Why is he sending it to the UNIA, headed by Papa Garvey, when he wants nothing to do with Papa Garvey? When he's been snubbing Papa Garvey since 1920. That really makes sense, doesn't it, brothers and sisters? Let's move on. In 1930s, you see, there's a saying, when truth comes, falsehood vanishes. And then falsehood is forever a vanishing thing. Truth crushed to the ground will arise again. Can I marry? You hear the song, you can't keep a good man down, you can't keep a Garveyite down. You can't keep a Rasta man down. You can't keep a Rasta woman down. A true Garveyite, a true Rasta man, and a true Rasta woman. Tell I'm married. In 1930, several Garveyites actually he did that call, and led by Barbados-born Arnold Ford, for years been musical director of the UNIA and had composed the Universal Ethiopian Anthem. The Universal what? The Universal what? Let's move on. Take the references down if you so wish. Marcus Garvey, Hero. Great book, brothers and sisters. Tendai Mwari. Let me hear you. Tendai Mwari. All right, this is from Race First, page 138. The unofficial leader of the UNIA migrants was Rabbi Arnold Ford, the leader of the Harlem Black Jews who arrived in Ethiopia in 1930. Some of the migrants fared well working as music teachers, governesses, school principals, and the like. These are Africans from the West. These are members of the UNIA, including leading members of the UNIA, who traveled a month, I believe, or 2 months. A month. Selassie was crowned in November 1930. In December 1930, Arnold Ford and a number of UNIA members packed them back and said, yes, the time has come. The moment has come. God has made himself, herself manifest. Magan Bakayard. Are you all with me, brothers and sisters? And then I put a note at the bottom here, where we have been informed by Baba Tony Martin that Ford actually taught the family of Haile Selassie music. That's right. He was a music teacher for the family of Haile Selassie. This senior activist, this senior operative of the UNIA. Let's move on. Tendai Mwari. 1937. Emperor Haile Selassie. I want just a couple of notes that I want you to register. His Imperial Majesty appointed his cousin and personal physician, Dr. Malako Baye, to establish the Ethiopian World Federation in the USA. Tendai Mwari. 1948, Emperor Haile Selassie donated 500 acres of land in Shashamane next to Addis Ababa, which is the capital of Ethiopia, for Rastafari and African repatriation under the auspices of the Ethiopian World Federation. Hear that, brothers and sisters. Now this is a kind of a backdrop to the next section. Maybe this bit belongs in the next section, but ain't nothing wrong with that. Let's move on. This is in Race First. Tendai Mwari. The African community in Britain was spurned by Haile Selassie. So in other words, when Haile Selassie was living in Britain between 1936 and 1941, he spurned the African community in Britain. There are rumors that Haile Selassie have rebuffed an African delegation in London. The paper. Rumors! Rumors, brothers and sisters!
And I must say that's Brother Shakara singing there. Don't follow rumors. And that rumor would align with what the brother was saying. This thing about Haile Selassie thinking that he was a white man and not an African. And again, I would have seen that rubbish there. They said the same thing about Menelik II. I wonder if his English Menelik told him that in. I mean, family, we have to be careful with our scholarship. I mean, check Brother Leader Bandaka for his understanding of the history of Haile Selassie I before you run and put any foolishness into poetry. That is really my point. Family, enough said. I'll drop the mic here. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. Family, make sure you subscribe to the Tiger's Nest radio program. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the magazine Kidemi. Make sure you subscribe to everything you got to subscribe to around here. And again, join me on Radio Anu. Right now, that's where we do it, Radio Anu. That's where you get the good information. That's where you get the good vibration. That's where you get the good everything. We got Kush right here. I'm telling you, give thanks. And hey, definitely make sure you check Got Kush TV. You can go and watch the whole of that episode I just highlighted. I think you should. you should give it some views, give it some attention and comment and say what you feel. And again, but support Kim Bunga Media, support Brother Shakara, without a doubt, support Got Kush TV. I just think that episode got away. Give thanks. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Radio Anu, the link is in the description below. Blessed Lord.
When I am dead, wrap the mantle of the red, the black and the green around me. For in the new life I shall rise up with God's grace and blessing to lead the millions of the heights and the triumph that you well know. Look for me in a world when a storm. Look for me all around you. For with God's grace, I shall come back with countless millions of black men and women who have died in America, those who have died in the West Indies, and those who have died in Africa to aid you with the fight.